Good morning. My name is Jacob. You can call me Jack, and this is Thrown Hands. Today we're going to be talking about what are we talking about today? The Manosphere. So if you don't know what it is or what's going on, just I got you. Sit back, relax, and let me know what you think. Let's go. So, the Manosphere. You're probably thinking about Kevin Samuels, red pill TikToks, fresh and fit, or maybe you're still trying to figure out what a Sigma male is. But the Manosphere is actually much larger than that. It's mostly an online web of communities that encompasses everything from pickup artistry to men's rights groups to political activism to incels to men's mental health advocates. At its worst, the Manosphere can represent very violent attitudes towards anyone not in their circles. But at its most positive, there's a thriving ecosystem of shared information between men on exercise, confronting trauma, entrepreneurship, nutrition, and self-confidence. If you're interested, this YouTube channel that I'll link here below did a really great job of mapping out the different factions of the Manosphere because it can get really confusing. Now, men teaching other men about manliness isn't a new thing at all. In antiquity, it was usually religious or ethnic codes that instructed a man on how to behave. Think of the chivalry code of medieval Europe, the code of Bushido in classical Japan, and to a slightly lesser extent, the Pashwantali moral code of the Pashtun people in modern-day Iran. But there is a big difference between those historical moral codes and what parts of the Manosphere are today, and that difference is, of course, money. When you look at the more popular parts of the Manosphere, much of it behaves like a market, in that goods and services are exchanged. Followers provide eyeballs for content creators to get ad revenue and purchase their merch and services. Out of the whole Manosphere, three of the most visible parts of it, especially on platforms like YouTube, are finances/entrepreneurship, dating, and what I like to call norm proliferation, which is a subset of videos that attempt to define what the flavors of manhood should look like. This is where videos like the ones that talk about alpha mindset, motivation, and many Jordan Peterson clips fall into. The first two are particularly interesting because they are centered around two of the strongest forces in marketing, money and dating. And this is really big money. Check out some of these super chats and Patreons from some of these really big Manosphere YouTubers. For some context, whenever a YouTuber does a live stream, viewers can pay money to have their comment posted in the video. Now, YouTube takes 30% of the cut, but we're still looking at hundreds of thousands of dollars spent by what I presume to be fans of the content, and by extension, at least partial consumers of the Manosphere. Some of these content creators also sell courses and one-on-one trainings. Obviously, there isn't any public information on how much they make, but if they're converting even 0.1% of their subscriber count, that's still thousands or tens of thousands of dollars. Some are caking off of Patreon too. So the next question is this a bad thing? Well, it depends. The fact that people are making money off of these topics isn't inherently bad, and markets that are well-oiled machines are obviously great at accomplishing their goals, whether that goal is weaving the best baskets, solving the most complex problems, etc. When the goal of making money takes priority over all else, though, people run the risk of getting crafty and tap dance on the rules of morality. So the real potential danger here is the temptation for exploitation. The question that the Manosphere should ask itself is if they think this is okay. On one hand, you could argue that people who curate these resources should be compensated for their time and expertise. But on the other hand, there still is this risk of exploitation piece to worry about. Do the benefits actually outweigh the risks? The question I really want to know the answer to, are the consumers of all of this content really having their lives changed in significant, positive ways, or are they missing something? If you're one of them, please leave your story down below. I really want to hear from you especially. But if any ladies are watching this should sound familiar to you. You've been dealing with this for quite some time. Take the popularity of Cosmopolitan magazine, for example. The company was bringing in over $300 million a year in advertising revenue alone between 2006 and 2013, and it recently sold for about $1 billion. So let me put this out there that this isn't a hit piece on the entirety of the Manosphere. There are passionate individuals who do great work providing guidance, resources, and examples to their followers, and I'm speaking from experience. The fact is, there's a clear need for mentorship for men of all races, ages, and walks of life. But when there's a dollar incentive to help, that relationship can quickly become exploitative. If a community is based on that, This becomes a tinderbox for problems. So, what now? Maybe you or someone you know has been watching just a little too much MGTOW. Maybe they spent hundreds of dollars on courses, but they're still missing something. Or maybe they could just use a break from social media. Here are some thoughts for you. Free alternatives and imitation. Find someone like a historical figure that you admire and read books on their lives. Try to understand how they lived, thought, and felt. Libraries are still a thing, and you can get free books to rent and read on these people. One of the bigger benefits of this is that internet content creators are kind of like fast food. They focus on speed and volume to deliver their messages, but books can often take years to write and rewrite to curate the message in a way that you just can't get from a 15-minute YouTube video or an hour-long live stream. It could be a breath of fresh air to you. Community. COVID has made things weird, but it's still possible to interact with new people. Depending on your schedule, consider joining a local sports recreation league. They have them for all types of sports, e-gaming included. Forming community outside of your social circle and your Instagram account can help balance out your social media consumption. All right, that does it for our talk on the Manosphere. So tell me what you thought. Did you know about the Manosphere? What do you think about it now? But more importantly, I want to hear from you. So tell me what you thought about today. And please share this with someone you might think would like this information. This is Jack, and as always, have a good weekend.